All right. Quick true or false. Picking a card out of a deck and getting a queen is independent of the second card out of the deck and getting another queen. And so let's say we're not going to replace the first one. We're not going to put it back. Pause the video. All right. If you don't put it back, then they are not independent events. They're dependent. The probability of the second queen would depend on if you got a queen in the first one or not. So if they're independent, it would be false. They are dependent. Okay, so say we're doing relay and track, and there's 12 people to pick from, and you're gonna pick four for this relay. And you could argue that the order and track matters. It probably does, but let's just say it really didn't matter because you're adding the four times together, and so it really doesn't make any difference. So, anyways, try to answer this. How many more ways are there to do it if the order matters versus if it doesn't? Okay, so really this is just the difference between permutations and combinations. So order matters, that's the permutation situation. Okay, so here we would be 12 people to pick from and we're picking four. And then if the order doesn't matter, it'd be combinations of 12 and four. And then it's just a matter of doing those on the calculator as demoed earlier. 12, math, probability, permutations, four. And I'm going to guess there's going to be quite a few of those, right? And then 12, math, probability, sorry, combinations, 4. All right, and then you subtract those two numbers and you'd have your answer. So I'm going to do it in the wrong order, but basically just my answer will be the positive version of that. So we get 11,385 more. Okay, and if you're doing the go what makes sense route, at least for permutations, I think you can kind of do it because you have 12 people to pick for the first spot, 11 for the next, 10 for the spot after that, and then 9 for that fourth spot. And so that would get you the same number we saw here. If you do 12 times 11 times 10 times 9, you get that number right there. All right. Last one here is a two-way table. And this is if students have curfew or not, and then if they're on the honor roll or not, right? And so if they don't give you the numbers, the totals on the outside, you usually fill them in. They're already filled in for us in this particular case. But yeah, so this is pretty tricky, but see if you can use the two-way table and interpret these probabilities. Pause the video. Okay, so if it's not a given that, so no curfew or this and one, the bottom number is everybody. So no curfew, that out of every 331 people total, the ones that have no curfew are this column here, which is 38. So we have 38 out of 131 that don't have curfew. Okay, honor roll and no curfew. So oftentimes students will want to like try to do the formula here, but realistically, what I'd recommend is honor roll and no curfew are these people right here, right? They are both no curfew and honor roll. So that's just 17. And again, since there's no given that, the total is just everybody. Okay, now let's do a given that. So with a given that, I think it's helpful to be able to read them. So this first one says the probability that you have a curfew given that you're on the honor roll. So given that we're on the honor roll means I'm looking only at the honor roll students, right? So I'm going to highlight that for a second. My honor roll students are the 68 that are right there. Okay, so that's the bottom of my probability, right? Usually this second part will always be the bottom. Okay, and then out of those 68, how many have a curfew? Most of them. So it looks like most of our honor roll students have a curfew. So sorry that's terrible handwriting. My pad is not working right here. So it's 51 out of 68. Okay, so probability that they're on the honor roll given that they don't have a curfew. Okay, so now my bottom is the no curfew people because it says given that means I'm only looking at no curfew, of which there are 38 students. And out of those 38, how many are on the honor roll? So out of these 38, there's 17 that are on the honor roll. So the probability you're on the honor roll, given that you don't have a curfew, is 17 out of 38. So basically 17 out of 38 of our non-curfew people made the honor roll. Be another way to think of it. All right, that is it. Thank you for watching.